Patrick, can we please have a one-word spooky-themed prompt?
Pumpkin.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
We gotta get some gourds. I got no gourds.
Can we get the gourds? Where are your gourds?
I can't remember the last time I've actually eaten the pumpkin seeds where you're supposed to like carve it and bake them and stuff. It feels like so much work.
We always do, but it is a lot of work, and they usually don't turn out as good as I remember them. They're always just really bleh. Hold on one second. Hey, welcome to the Spooky Overtalking Podcast with your hosts, Ken and CJ. Say hi, CJ. That's right, it's October! And we're doing all horror movies again. It's spooky month, baby. CJ, are you excited? Are you ramped up?
That's how I feel about all the scary movies.
Yeah,
I recorded myself
a little
live.
Baby, a little too scared. I think you're going to be okay this week, though.
Yeah, this was
We're starting out pretty light.
Yeah, a nice way to ease into it.
Yeah, today we're talking about Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, but it's more Dracula and the Wolfman, I would say. But we'll get into that in a second. But we got a returning guest. Siege, why don't you introduce him?
Oh my gosh. He's now the member of the 5 Timers Club.
There we go.
We just can't get rid of this guy.
Where's my damn jacket?
It's Patrick Cotnoir.
Oh my gosh. Now, Ken, let's just go back a second.
Yeah,
let's
I can tell you were having difficulties.
Yeah, the spooky voice. I want to talk about the spooky voice for a second.
You mean his
Were you
normal
a little
voice?
turned on?
What do you mean?
Yeah, it sounded more like a 9 p.m. It was like a Sleepless in Seattle radio call-in voice.
Yeah.
It's as spooky as I can get.
Okay. You find romance spooky. That's what we're taking away here.
Ken hates love.
I don't know. It scared away many women when I was younger, so I don't know.
That's all. I needed to talk about it. I didn't want to let it go by.
Yeah, it does feel like you're about to give dating advice.
Call in, listeners. yeah, that fits. Yeah.
WORT Overtalk.
That's right. Patrick, thanks for coming back. This is your first time for October, which is why you're getting the clear new reactions to the October voice.
Yeah.
Are you a big fan of October? Do you like Halloween, or do you just like some horror movies?
Yeah, I mean, I like horror movies. I like pretty much any horror movie as long as it's not like a torture porny kind of horror movie. You know, like I don't want a Hostel, I don't want a Saw. I'm never gonna watch those movies. That's totally fine with me. Agreed. I like Halloween. I haven't dressed up in a while. Last Halloween, it was my first one in LA, and oh my god, I can't believe that was already a year ago. Like, it genuinely feels like yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, it does not feel like it was that long ago. We didn't do much. We drove around and just like walked through some neighborhoods while kids walked around, because there's not like trick-or-treating in apartment buildings, you know, really.
Yeah.
But we went to the babysitters' houses from the original Halloween.
Oh, cool.
Like where they were babysitting the kids, you know, the main houses, basically. And then literally 1 block away is Elm Street. Like her house from Nightmare on Elm Street. And the Halloween houses were pitch black. Like, it's so dark, and we were so disappointed. One of them, I think, was, like, getting gutted, and we were like, well, at least the Elm Street house will be good. And then we went to the Elm Street house, and it was also pitch black. And it was such a bummer where we were like, don't buy the house if you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
This is the one day of the year where you should be all in. Like, this should be your best day of the year. And it was truly very disappointing. It was such a bummer. But I love that those houses are only like a block and a half apart from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense that they would all have to be in LA.
But
yeah, to be that close, though,
the majority of Halloween was shot in Pasadena, which is 20 minutes away. Like, it's not that far away. But then those 2 houses are in Hollywood, and there's nothing else from that movie really in Hollywood. So I was surprised that they weren't further out. But yeah, a real disappointment.
Do you think it's just stayed in the family that same people have owned the Elm Street house since the movie?
I don't know.
Because like if some production company was like, "Hey, we want to give you a bunch of money to shoot a film in your house," be like, "Yeah, absolutely, yes, please do."
Yeah.
And then you find out like later, like it's goes on to be some giant franchise, and you're like, man.
See, this is sort of my thing with like the Breaking Bad lady. Do you know about the Breaking Bad lady?
No, I don't think so.
No. What's that?
The woman who owns the White's house from Breaking Bad, right, in Albuquerque, is a true blue nightmare. Like, really, maybe the worst person. You see videos of her on, like, TikTok or whatever where people are going, and she just, like, camps outside and is like, get the hell away from my house. What are you doing near my house? Get out. Like, fully does not lean into it. And she's like, yeah, they gave me, like, $1,000 in 2008, and now I'm stuck with this. And you're like, okay, but, like, move. Like, you could make 4 times the amount of money that you bought this house for. If you sold this to the right person. So I don't really feel the sympathy for those people where it's like, okay, move. Like, someone's going to buy this, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
It's like the Home Alone house.
Yeah.
Like, they at least decorate.
Yeah.
But they get pissed if, like, anyone comes and looks at their house around Christmas time.
It's
like,
crazy.
That's the Home Alone house. Like, what do you expect?
There's one, I think it's Laurie's house from Halloween, like the house that she lives in. Like has pumpkins out and they like people coming up and like doing stuff around them, which is kind of like that's what you should be doing. Like, don't be a freaking Grinch about it, you know?
Right.
I don't know. I like Halloween though. I wish I still dressed up and did stuff, you know? But it's like, I know it takes so much work, and I wish I was more inclined to like make a costume, you know? But I just don't think I have those skills. So someday, maybe someday.
CJ's very anti-costume.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't like costumes.
Just in general.
Even
when you were a kid?
Yeah, but I think I ended that even pretty early.
What was the last costume
fun.
wearing that you remember?
Oh, like a year or two ago, because my wife loves it.
So. All right. What was
You did it for her. That was nice.
What were both of your favorite childhood Halloween costumes?
Ooh.
I'm turning this around. I'm hosting the show now. I'm sorry.
That's great. No,
I went all out as Frankenstein's monster one year, where I had the whole green paint, the dyed black hair, and we like taped bolts on the side of my neck and everything.
That's great.
I do remember that. I also remember just like in middle school, going to school not dressed up in like a costume, but just for that day deciding to like dye my hair a weird color. Just buying the like spray on whatever, and just be like, it's blue now, just for today.
That fits. You currently have a mohawk, so
that's right.
That makes 100% sense. Mine was we went all out and like built up this outfit where like the shoulders built up higher than my head, so it looked like I was holding my own decapitated head, and I wore that to grade school. I think.
Nice.
That's fun.
It wasn't gory or anything, but it was awesome. I love that.
That's
one.
great. I love that.
How about yours? Do you have one from when you were younger?
Yeah, I think it was first grade. I was Richard Nixon.
Okay. Wow.
I like had the mask, wore the suit. Like we went and bought me a suit because I did not own a suit, obviously, because I was in first grade. And I went around doing the like double peace signs and saying I'm not a crook. It was great.
Wow.
Cool. Wow.
And then in high school, this one was not my favorite, but it's one where I was like, well, there's two, I guess. There was one, maybe this was middle school. No, it was fourth grade. It was fourth grade because, I'll tell you why, because it was a month after 9/11. And I remember being like, this is weird that we're all doing this, you know? I was an orangutan, and it like had the monkey like coming off my head, and I was like, I'm too old for this costume. I shouldn't be wearing this costume. This was a mistake. Like, I remember feeling that the entire time. And then in high school, I was a Wheaties box.
Okay.
Like it like had like the PVC, and then you put like the cloth
PVC,
over
that's
it.
a whole wow.
Oh yeah, your head like stuck through the Wheaties box like you were on the front of it. Don't like Wheaties, not a sports guy. I don't know why we picked that for a costume, but it was like junior or senior year maybe. I don't know. I don't know why we did it.
Could you even sit down?
No, it was a
work?
nightmare.
Right?
The whole thing was a nightmare. And I primarily only wore it to one Halloween party at my friend's house in their basement. And it was like, we're all playing, what do you call it? Like air hockey or like ping pong or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, well, have fun, guys. I can't move. My arms are stuck in this thing. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I remember the year that you decide like, okay, now is the age I am too old to go out like trick-or-treating and staying home only for like two of my best friends to ring the doorbell at my house. But if they were one friend was a quote unquote pirate where he just held a sword and put on an eye patch, but still wore like all normal clothes and like a hoodie.
So funny.
And answered the door and be like, what are you guys doing? Get out of here.
That's amazing.
The judgment you feel when you're the first one to no longer go trick-or-treating.
That's some of the times I remember being the like most scared, because I think that year was also the first time I watched like Halloween. So I was just sitting at home. So I was like, oh, I'll throw on TV, see what's on, and like watched Halloween and was like, oh, this is scary. I don't like this.
That's when you realize you didn't like horror movies.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Do you have a favorite horror movie? Like, even though you don't like them? This is also a Ken question too, but I assume you like them more than he does.
Yeah, Ken definitely does.
Yeah,
I
rattle off 200.
I'm curious what CJ's is.
I mean, I know I just said it. Halloween is definitely good. Oh, does the Thing count as like a? That's
absolutely.
really good.
Great. That's a great answer.
That might be mine.
I've only just like last year started watching, mostly for the show, but all of the like 80s kind of like Carpenter one, and those where I'm like, oh, I can get behind these. These are not actually scary. They're campy and like I don't mind those. Like I was like, oh, I like this. It's yeah.
I think it was during COVID where I was like, okay, I'm doing all of the franchises. So I watched like all of the Friday the 13th, all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, all the Chuckies, all that stuff. Because I realized I'd never done it, and I was like, if not now, when? You know, like we're here. Yeah. I can bang through 4 of these in a day because I have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And it was a good move for most of them. You know, I really like the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I like some of the Friday the 13th. I love the Halloweens. I think all of the Halloweens are at least good, even if they're insane. You know, like I would rather rewatch Halloween 7 before I watch almost any Friday the 13th, I think.
Wow.
And Chucky's Chucky. You know, Chucky's it's interesting more than it's good, I think, is how I feel about the Chucky ones.
Did you watch the show?
I haven't watched it yet. I watched all of the movies to watch the show. And then I think I burnt myself out because I watched it in like a week, and I have not watched the show.
I'll tell you, the movies are significantly. Most of the movies are significantly worse.
That's what I've heard. I've heard the show is really good.
It's so good.
Yeah, I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
I have a question that I want to ask all our guests before we get to our movie, and it is: did you, growing up, have any or hear of any kind of urban legends around Halloween, or any like wives' tales around going out on Halloween or anything like that?
I don't know. I mean, this isn't really an urban legend, but it was always the like watch your candy for razor blades or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I don't know if it ever actually happened. Like if you really look into that story, but I did find I digitized all of our home movies and like all of our VHS tapes and stuff during COVID just to like have it in a more concrete format than like the Super 8 things. And I found a news piece from like 1982. It was labeled like Halloween 1982 news or whatever. And I was like, what is this? And I, put it in the computer and I got it all up. And it was a news piece about razor blades and candy and about how parents need to watch out for it. And they go and interview people at the grocery store, including my mother. And she was just like,
no way.
I don't know. I just want to give candy to kids. Like, it was just like the funniest thing. I was like, is this why you guys talked about it so much? Because she got interviewed on the news about it? And I don't even think she remembered doing it. But that's like the one thing that I remember like that. Yeah, I don't know.
You don't remember being on the news?
No, that works.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a big deal, We're on the news all the time. Yeah.
Sure. Awesome. Well, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back to talk about Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein on the Overtalking Podcast.
Oh,
the nation's top comics, Abbott and Costello. Petrified, but hilariously. Plus the dangerous and terrifying Wolfman, played by Lon Chaney. Plus that fiend out of a nightmare, the vampire Batman, Count Dracula, played by Bela Lugosi. Plus the most dreaded creature of them all, the Frankenstein monster, played by Glenn Strange. Plus a couple of luscious but designing females in the spookiest laugh fest on record.
And we're back on the Overtalking Podcast, joined once again by returning guest Patrick Cotnoir, and we're talking about Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. But first, we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock, Patrick, for you to describe for someone who's not yet seen Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein what it's all about.
Ready, go.
So there are these two guys, Chick and Wilbur. They work at a postal delivery place. I don't know, a post office thing. They realize they have to deliver a package. Come to find out it's Dracula's coffin. Craziness ensues when Dracula actually shows up, and Larry Talbot's there. He's the Wolfman. And also Frankenstein's monster they find in the basement. I can't even remember, and I just watched this movie, and it's one of my favorite movies. But then they all fight. It's crazy.
Time.
Yeah, that's pretty much
and hilarity ensues.
Hilarity ensues. Yes.
Yeah.
You might have remembered that a little more clearly, Patrick. If you had been drinking something that CJ and I love, it's called Magic Mind.
The mental performance shot.
That's right. It's something that CJ and I have been drinking for a couple months now, every morning, in addition to our coffee. And it's just a little green shot, and tastes really good. Yeah, it helps me stay focused. I've talked a lot about how it helps me at work, stay focused throughout the day. And it's something that we really love and we really want our listeners to know about.
It's got all those good ingredients like matcha, you got the lion's mane, you got nootropics and adaptogens to get your brain boosted.
Absolutely. And if you try it with our code OvertalkingPod20, that's OvertalkingPod20, you can get 20% off of your subscription of Magic Mind. And it's a money-back guarantee, 100%, no questions asked. If you don't like it, you can get your money back, but we're pretty sure you're going to like it. Like, it's really helped me, genuinely.
You can head on over to magicmind.com/overtalkingpod20, or the link is in the show notes.
And this is the best way to support the podcast. So if you want to help us out,
I'd
go try it out. It's really good.
Help us out.
Got a little discount for you. Go say it. Okay. All right. Back to the movie. We got to talk about it.
We gotta.
This was the first time I had seen Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. I've seen other Abbott and Costello things before, but I don't know why I haven't watched this yet. This is the first of a couple of different Abbott and Costello Meet insert Universal Monster here, but this one has multiple ones, and Frankenstein is barely one of them. And I'm not sure why they went with him as the leading bill, but
I think it should have been called Abbott and Costello Meet the Monsters.
Yeah.
That's the title it should have been.
Right.
I think Frankenstein probably had the highest, Q rating. Like, everyone knew that name out of the most of it. You know what I mean? There had already been so many Frankenstein movies that I assume people were just like, oh, that's the one. Whereas Dracula, Bela Lugosi plays Dracula in this, and this is the first time since the original Dracula movie in 1931 that he played Dracula again, which is truly crazy that he only did it twice. And he's like the guy that everyone pictures,
This is my first Bela Lugosi experience. Was the Abbott and Costello one?
Yeah,
it's mine too. Surprisingly, I never saw the other.
Oh, you should watch it.
Dracula
it's good. It's my my least favorite of the three, of the three big ones: the Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula. Because I think it's a little boring, but the sets are amazing. He's really good in it.
He's creepy.
Yeah, I was a big Universal Monsters kid growing up. I have a framed original linen-backed 1960 Bud Abbott y Lou Costello Contra los Fantasmas, which is they meet the Phantasms, and it's an amazing poster. But this is like one of my favorite movies. I love this movie so much. Yeah, I think Wolfman was always my favorite, and I think he has the most to do in this movie. Probably is Lon Chaney Jr.
Yeah.
And then Frankenstein was next, and then Dracula was my third.
So I did have to go on the IMDb page for the movie because I was questioning what Abbott was being called the entire time.
Oh yeah,
Chick. His name is Chick.
Chick.
And then also,
it's an old timey name.
Yeah, did not realize that. But then also, as you start to type in like Abbott and Costello, there are like 20 Abbott and Costello meet blank.
Yeah.
Stop looking at those.
Okay.
Close out of that.
There are so many. I'm currently in the middle of. I just got the Blu-ray of all of the Universal Abbott and Costello movies, which is 28 of them.
Oh, cool!
And I had seen some of them. I'd probably seen 10 of them, maybe. And I'm trying to do all of them like in order, and this really threw off my order because now I'm gonna have to watch it again when I get to it. Like, it's a whole thing,
I think this is a good movie to rewatch.
I think so. Yeah, this is a movie that I will rewatch at least once a year, sometimes more. But yeah, it's very fun. It's very silly. It's but I also think it's a good like horror comedy. You know, there's stuff in it where it's like this did scare me a little bit as a kid, you know? A lot of lumbering, a lot of spooky boys.
The classic like I swear I saw something and they come and check and it's back to normal and
And I think the music is good in it. I think the sets are really cool. That set of like the staircase going down into the boat area, I think is amazing.
Yeah. That's what blew my mind was one, I'm somehow like more impressed with special effects from that are old than I am of like CGI now. Like the electronic or the like bolt of Frankenstein, the little like sparks and stuff that like you remember, somebody had to sit down and like hand draw frame by frame, like that thing. Right. And then also, the enormous like set pieces throughout the movie that are like
it's crazy.
This is just like a pool on a Hollywood set that they built entirely for this scene. Like it's wild.
Yeah, I do love the transformation, the Dracula transformation, where they like animate the bat and then it turns into him. Like I don't know, it's just fun. It's great. Yeah. And then the Wolfman transformation is really impressive too because
we get two of them.
You got some good ones.
They're amazing.
And he just like had to sit there all day, and it was a true nightmare. Because you watch the first one, and it's 1941. The time we watched it, or the time I watched it this time, I watched it with the commentary on it because I was like, I've seen this movie 75 times. You know, like I'm okay to watch it with a commentary if I need to. He'd done it 5 times. This was his 5th time as the Wolfman, which is kind of crazy because it was only in 7 years. So it's like a lot of like back to back. You know, this was his like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. He's just gonna do it like 7 times in 5 years or whatever. And in the first movie, you don't really see the transformation that clearly. And this one, it was a lot of like it was kind of stop motion. You know, they would like do a little bit and then do a little bit more and do a little bit more and just like fade it all together. But you know, for it being 1948, it's really impressive.
The one thing that, you know, not to be a stickler, I realize this is an old movie, but
CJ.
Do it.
You're not supposed to be able to see vampires in the mirror, right?
Yes.
They don't show up as reflections.
I didn't catch that.
When he bites the woman. Yeah.
There's like a vanity mirror.
That's right.
And my biggest qualm with it is not even that. It's like you already had the shot set up.
Yes.
You didn't have to take a step forward. She should come to you, and then you're still out of frame of the mirror. It was so easy.
You also just like don't need a mirror there.
Yeah.
Just don't put the mirror there.
Have that happen somewhere. Yeah, I was just like, you're one step away from it working.
I can't now. I've seen a lot of these movies so many times, and I truly cannot remember if the mirror thing is set up in those movies. Or if that's more of like a modern thing or only in the book or something, you know, like, I don't know if the Universal monster movies, I don't know if the mirror thing is set up, but yes, 100, you're not wrong. You're not wrong to say it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I wonder if they, had the technology or like had the forethought to go the extra mile with the special effects for the original Dracula.
Yeah. You just angle the camera. You just got to turn it so he's not in the shot of like the frame. Like,
if you guys ever watch the original Dracula, I'm going to double your work because I think this is interesting and it's like a cool thing to do. They also shot at night. So they would shoot the Bela Lugosi English Dracula during the day, and at night they would shoot a Spanish version with the same sets, the same costumes, different actors. And
whoa.
And the Spanish version is maybe better than the English version.
Oh,
interesting.
It's fascinating. And they're only both like 62 minutes or something like that. So it's really like you know, you can watch it at once because all of these movies are so short, which is great. But it's like a crazy thing that I don't think I've ever heard of happening anywhere else. Maybe it was more common back in the day, but
to like save some money.
Yeah, it's weird.
They did that. The only other thing I can think of that this happened for, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other examples, but when they remade Matilda for Netflix recently, they did a shot-for-shot, side-by-side Spanish version along with that, with like all the musical numbers.
That's so interesting.
Kind of weird.
Huh.
Two movies that you don't really think of as like, well, this needs a Spanish version.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
yeah. That's so interesting. I wonder why they did that.
Have you guys also ever seen, this being in black and white, have you seen pictures of what those people are actually dressed like in color? Like their suits and stuff like that?
Oh.
Not really, no.
It's fascinating. There's a whole science to how those actually look with black and white. Like, they're actually wearing, like, oranges and weird thing to come across as black shirts or whatever. Like, it's a whole color science to make it look good that they're wearing, like, normal clothes.
Did you see if is Frankenstein green even?
I don't know. A gray, isn't it? I think it's like they like had to make him like a gray just to make it look right.
Yeah, him see like dead.
Yeah,
more of like a corpse.
I mean, I'll say this: the poster I've got, they're in color, and Chick is wearing a red shirt, which I never would have guessed.
Yeah,
you know,
my guess is that was colorized and drawn just for the poster, but
it's probably not.
And I don't mean this specific movie. I mean like black and white in general. Like they were all wearing crazy colors so that it appeared good on camera. It's wild.
I'm gonna send you a picture of this poster because the guys on the poster, except for Abbott and Costello, like don't look like the monsters, and I find it really funny, and I don't really know why they did that because. Especially the Wolfman just looks truly nothing like the Wolfman, and it doesn't really make sense why. Like, it's like they didn't show them any photos when they were painting it.
Well, did they film a Spanish version alongside the original?
Wow.
Yeah, wow, truly.
Truly, like, why did you do that? How did you do that, guys?
Yeah.
That is a really bad Wolfman.
Yeah. Yeah,
nothing like him.
I thought that was Dracula at first.
Yep.
Just in normal clothes.
Yeah. Weird.
Why also didn't they make him in Wolfman?
He's like half
he's just
in
him.
Wolfman.
But it doesn't even look like Lon Chaney. Like it's not even.
Yeah.
No. Right.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen an Abbott Costello movie. Is Bud Abbott always so mean to Lou Costello?
Yeah.
Like it's like out of like really mean. I don't know.
It's not always that way. I'm going through I've watched like 8 of these movies recently. I wouldn't say it's this mean. Maybe it ramps up as the movies go on and as they genuinely are like, we don't like each other anymore. You know, like I wonder how much
real
that
thing.
Impacted it. But yeah, he's very mean in a lot of ways where you're just like, A, why are you two still hanging out? You know?
Right.
You clearly
they live
hate
together
him.
in this movie.
Just go make other friends. And B, your level of meanness does not equate with what it should be. It's just
calm down.
Yeah, calm down. Yeah. Relax.
I saw when I was checking this in on Letterboxd, I saw a review. It was something along the lines. He was pointing that out of like how mean Abbott was, and then taking the side of like, but I probably would treat my friend that way if he acted like a child all the time. Like I don't know that I would be friends with him anymore, and like sound like do baby voice and stuff like that. It's like, oh yeah, that is a good point.
We are seeing like one day of their life.
Yeah.
You know, they've been going through this for 50 years. You'd be so tired of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Costello's been fucking up deliveries left and right before they started.
They have to get a new job every week. Were either of you guys... So I was... didn't watch a ton of Abbott Costello. I'm sure at one point in my life I had the Who's on First memorized. I like almost am certain of that. But I was a huge fan of Three Stooges. And oh no, Patrick's shaking his head.
You finish what you're saying, and then
Abbott and Costello, 40s and 50s. Three Stooges started in 1960, and it's just so.
Three Stooges started way before 1960.
Oh, sorry, that's the show. The Three Stooges show.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so apparent that like Moe is just doing Abbott and Curly is doing Costello. Like it's the same dynamic.
Well, it's the archetypes.
I think
it's the archetypes.
Right. I'm pretty sure they influenced each other.
Because it was similar
like
time.
That slapstick kind of thing. Yeah.
It's all vaudeville stuff. You know, they all came from vaudeville and
they all stole from each other. Like I'm pretty sure Abbott and Costello did not actually come up with Who's on First. Like that was stolen from somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, for
some
sure.
poor schmo. The Three Stooges were never my guys. Marx Brothers were also never my guys. Like these were my guys for some reason. I don't know why. The Marx Brothers, I watched a little bit when I was younger, but I've only recently like started to actually watch them. And I'm like, I would just hate all of these guys if I met them in real life. Like if I came upon them, I would be the person like, you have to get out of my country club. You know, like that would 100% be me because I'd be like, these guys suck so much. And the Three Stooges, I think I just never got. Like, I understood the general, like, I get it. Slapstick, silly. They're all hitting each other with pies, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it was never my thing. It was my dad's thing. My dad loved the Three Stooges and still does. I went home 2 weeks ago, I think, and I was looking through their DVR just to like see what they had on there. And it had like 260 things from the Three Stooges saved, and I was like, wow. You could just buy the DVDs. Like, I think these are all just like repeats. You know, it's all the same four things. You know,
I watched I can't remember what year in high school, but I would wake up with enough time so that I would watch 2 episodes of the Three Stooges before school, like every day for like a year or something.
Wow!
So I consumed a lot of it.
I did that with Space Jam.
Wow.
Every day I would wake up at like 6:45 because I knew I could get all of Space Jam in before school.
Dang.
Wow, a full movie. And Space Jam.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a Niagara Falls bit from the Three Stooges that like anytime I hear Niagara Falls, like my brain plays it and I can't get it out of my head forever. It's Mo shouting Niagara Falls. And
I say hello, pal, sort of friendly, and just because I say Niagara Falls, Niagara Falls!
It lives in there forever.
That's amazing.
Well, I think we need to pivot, and I think it's time for trivia before we talk about more things that I've already written down that I'm running out of questions for. So it's time for... The boys are back in town.
I clicked the wrong button.
But that was short enough where you don't have to worry about it.
It's good enough. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Make that our new theme. Whenever I'm on, that's our trivia theme.
Do you want more of it? I could keep it going.
I think you'll get flagged. I think you'll get flagged if you put any more on. Right. Just do that. That's good.
That was good.
All right, yeah, I did that on purpose. That was on purpose.
Yeah.
That's right. For new listeners, the trivia portion of our show where we pit our guests and CJ head to head to see who knows the most about what we watch, which I'm pretty sure is Patrick, but we'll see. Patrick, CJ, are you two ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
I just need a yes or no.
That was my yes.
Okay, great.
Are you like the flight attendant for people who are sitting in exit rows? You need him to verbally say yes?
I need confirmation.
I need your verbal confirmation. I need your consent to do the trivia. All right, first question. This is something we touched on, but we didn't quite get the answer to. Who came first? And this isn't the who's on first question. It's who came first, Three Stooges or Abbott and Costello?
I think it's Abbott and Costello, right?
I'm gonna also say Abbott and Costello.
No, the Three Stooges.
Really?
Yeah, because I thought the same thing when I was watching.
They have to be fairly close to each other, though, right?
Yeah, 1922 is when the Three Stooges formed. Yeah. I don't think they actually got pictures until later. Yeah. And then Abbott and Costello began in 1929.
Okay.
Dang.
But yeah, I mean, relatively close. And then just when they got different works off the ground afterwards, I'm sure varied. But yeah.
Wow. They should reboot Abbott and Costello.
Like they did the Three Stooges movie?
Yeah. Bring them back.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Next question. Due to the success of this movie, several other films were made where Abbott and Costello meet other Universal horror icons. Which of the following did Abbott and Costello not meet in subsequent films? That's why CJ said, don't look. But you probably already saw a couple.
I saw a couple, but there's so many.
Yeah, there's a bunch. All right, which one did they not meet? Did they not meet A, the creature from the Black Lagoon, B, the Mummy, C, Dr. Jekyll / Mr. Hyde, or D, the Invisible Man?
Go ahead, CJ.
And to be clear, separate from the ending of this movie.
A, creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
Yeah, that is the right answer. All right.
That doesn't seem like one of the main guys, It's like
that's
slightly...
such a funny way for me to answer that question by saying, yes, that's the right answer.
Yes, I know for a fact that is correct.
Though. Do you have a Blu-ray set or like a DVD set of all of them?
I had the DVDs, and then I just sold the DVDs to buy the Blu-rays, but I think it's 14 discs.
Jeez.
Cool.
It's a giant box set.
Oh, yeah, I want to see.
It's a Shout Factory.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Comes in looks like a little suitcase.
Nice.
And I truly only bought it because the DVDs took up too much space on my shelf. Like, these aren't even really restored or look that much better. But I was just like, it's just smaller. Like, it's more compact, and that's truly the only reason why I got it.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. This movie is listed by the American Film Institute as one of the 100 funniest American movies of all time.
Wow.
What number did it make on that list? Good luck. Closest gets the point.
Go ahead, CJ.
This is like pity being tossed my way.
I don't know the answer, so
okay.
Go ahead.
Do we know when this list was made? Any decade even?
It's probably late 80s, maybe?
I assume this is the current list.
Oh, wow.
I don't know, though.
That's so many movies. 83rd funniest one.
Okay.
I'm going to say 69, baby.
Nice.
69 is closer. 56 is the correct number.
Dang.
That's
So
high.
pretty middle of the top 100.
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah. All right. We already talked about this. Bela Lugosi, this is his second and last appearance as Dracula, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's the last of the like classic Universal monsters for all three of those.
Really?
For Wolfman,
Wow.
Frankenstein, and Dracula. Yeah. So canonically, like, that is their death, is the end of that movie.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wow. What famous horror icon voiced the Invisible Man at the end of this movie? Patrick, if you know the answer, let CJ.
Go ahead, CJ.
How am I supposed to know that?
Well, look, you know who this,
That's a tough
but you
one.
know who this person is. I think you've seen other stuff this person has done. I would almost guarantee.
Maybe.
From the 40s?
I can think of two things that you almost definitely have seen.
I can think of one thing you definitely at least know him from.
Can I get a hint?
A major. Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
And you'll get a half point if you
Great,
get it.
I'll take it.
I'm pretty sure Patrick knows exactly. His voice also appears in a extremely popular horror themed song.
I think you can say what the song is.
Yeah, Thriller. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at
Yeah,
hand.
it's the laugh. It's the laugh that I...
Yeah, you're not going to get
No.
it. Time's up. Patrick, what's the answer?
Vincent Price, baby, my boy.
Yeah,
That's right.
my
Vincent
boy.
Price.
I did know that.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't catch that
Yeah.
until I was looking for trivia stuff, but that's awesome.
Fun.
Can I tell you the two Vincent Price things that I own?
Oh, sure.
I own I own three Vincent Price things. I own a letter that he would send out in the late 80s being like, I'm too sick, I'm not sending out autographs anymore, which I think is very funny. I own a invitation to the unveiling of the James Madison portrait at the White House from the Richard Nixon administration to Vincent Price and wife. And I own a self-portrait that he drew
Whoa.
of him.
Cool.
Yeah.
You have so much random cool shit.
Yeah, my estate sale is going to be amazing.
Yeah. All right, how are we doing on points, Steve?
Patrick's up 3-1.
Yeah,
Surprise,
okay.
surprise.
This is the final question. Pretty sure we know where this is going, what's the route?
Let's do triple points on this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Triple points. Well, we'll see if Siege can take the lead potentially, and then really screw me over for the number of questions I have here. What is the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score in percentage, closest without going over? And just because Patrick's in the lead, Patrick, you'll go first to give CJ the edge, and maybe we'll see if he can eke this out.
I'm going to say 82.
Okay.
I'm going to say higher because it's at least all of the stuff you have said. Clearly, this is a really beloved movie. So I will play it safe, though, and say 83.
Yeah, CJ gets the 3. We'll say 2 points so that it's even.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I got another follow-up question.
Right.
So, yeah, 90% though.
Great.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
CJ, I really wanted you to win. That's why
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, that was
Kansas
nice.
State
That's why I thought that was the last question. I thought you'd come out on top, but now I'm going to win, and it's going to feel really bad.
Nah,
All right, go ahead,
great.
Ken.
Winning feels great.
Take it. It's okay. Well, also, this is kind of an equalizer. So what is the Letterboxd score for this movie?
Oh.
This is just Joe Schmo's rating on Letterboxd. It's out of 5 to 1 decimal point. And if both of you could just shout out your answer on the count of 3 so that you don't influence each other. 1, 2, 3.
3.7. Oh.
Oh, CJ, you said 3.7?
Yeah.
Patrick, you said 4.2.
Yeah.
4.2 is too high. 3.7 is very, very close. 3.6 is the correct answer.
Wow. All right. Now I'm mad I gave you that extra point.
Yeah, well, you got what you wanted.
I know. I got what I wanted.
Yes,
You won a fair and square this time,
Woo!
too. Yeah.
Let's go! I love winning.
CJ also kind of knows how Letterboxd, where it's like this, they're always around a 3 for some reason. I don't know why.
Middle of the road.
Yes. But yeah, I think that maybe means it's time for our ratings.
You're estimating. We know you've been waiting. So now it's time to hear our ratings.
One of these days, we got to make a spooky version of that. That's too cheerful for Halloween. Sorry. Patrick, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein for you?
I mean, I would be a fool if I said anything less than 10 for me personally.
Hey. I'd be a fool. Ooh. You got all sorts of things this year. I love it.
Instead of I figured we get a little
a fool. Yeah. So you think this is a perfect movie for you, huh?
Perfect Patrick movie. Yeah. It's maybe the most Patrick movie that exists.
It's on the box set.
Yeah.
Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
I think it's in my Letterboxd top 4. I'm almost positive it is.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. I feel like we've watched almost all of my Letterboxd movies on this podcast. Did we do the Muppet movie?
I mean,
Yep.
Yes,
we did. We did Clifford.
Yep.
Which I think is also up there. And this. Let me double check. I'll see what the other one is.
What's the fourth one?
Oh, it's got to be Star Wars. It's got to be.
We have not. Well, we actually haven't done Star Wars on this.
I don't think we've done any Star Wars content.
Wow. Well, I guess we figured out what the next one is in 2 weeks or whatever.
I guess so. Yeah.
That's right. Back on in November, baby.
Yeah. I mean, you would obviously be the natural choice for Star Wars. Then. Yeah. Cool.
Let's see. I recently swapped Clifford for Roger Rabbit.
I love that movie.
Yeah. There you go.
All right.
Sixth appearance.
Got your queue lined up for future episodes. All right, 10. So let's see. CJ, what would you rate this movie for you?
For me, bong.
All sorts of stuff.
This was fun. Oh, I didn't get to talk about. Okay, I want to share because I wrote it down specifically. The part that made me laugh the most out loud was the Wolfman is looking for Abbott and Costello. They're at some party. He runs into a waiter and he goes to the waiter and says, and their characters are Chicken Wilbur. Have you seen Chicken Wilbur? Seen them? I don't even know them. And the waiter walks away. I can't explain why I thought that was hilarious. That was by far and away my favorite part of the movie.
I don't know if that line has ever really gotten me, but you just repeating it, I'm like, yeah, that's really funny.
It's really funny.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
I was like, all right, this is great. Yeah, it's a good time. It's also cool. Like I said, I think I really know Abbott and Costello from Who's on First. And so it was cool to see an actual full-fledged movie with them and stuff. I agree. Abbott is so mean, but I think you you probably would be too if that was your friend and you were stuck with them that entire time. It's fun. It's a fun movie. I think it's 7.5. It's fun. It's a fun romp. It's funny. It's a good time. Easy breezy.
Great.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Ken.
For me, this is a really, really good movie. I think the funniest part for me was when
I'm ready. I'm ready to laugh.
Oh, okay. Now I've built it up too much. It's when Costello's in this head vice thing towards the end of the movie, and he's just calling out for help, and Frankenstein's just sitting there motionless, and he's like, Junior? Yeah. Help me, Junior.
Calling him Junior.
Just, I don't know. Hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. It's really funny. Abbott's really mean. But I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it an 8, I think. 8 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah. Great movie.
I feel pretty good about my choices on this show have been pretty good. I feel like the majority of them have been liked by everybody.
Oh, yeah. We watch a lot of crap on this show, so these are great.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, yeah. Any other moments we want to talk about from the movie before we wrap up?
I like the part when he says, when the full moon comes out, I turn into a wolf, and he says, yeah, you and 40 million other guys. I think that's really funny.
Yeah. I got one more piece of, it's not really trivia, but someone is probably turned into a werewolf during this movie. Someone new. Do you know who?
Mr. McDougal?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
He gets bit, but he survives.
Yeah, he got slashed.
Probably a werewolf.
It's time for a Lego sequel about Mr. McDougal. Hollywood, greenlight Mr. McDougal. McDougal by Moonlight. Call it that.
Definitely call it
Perfect title.
Mr. McDougal meets Abbott and Costello.
Oh, wow.
Turning on.
Here's what I will say. I do wish they still kept the meets naming convention for current movies, where it would just be like, Anna
fun.
Kendrick and Rebel Wilson meet the Babadook. Like, I think that would be very funny, you know?
Especially for the Babadook. That would get me.
Yeah.
That might get me to watch that movie.
Anyone meets the Babadook?
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais meets the Babadook is so funny. I don't even want to see that movie, but it's funny.
Yeah.
That was good.
It's all just like verses and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, meat sounds much more friendly.
Yeah.
You know, they get to shake hands, greet each other. Yeah.
Run around.
I did learn in the commentary, in Germany, this movie was called "Oh God, Frankenstein," which I think is very funny.
That's real.
Yes, you can find. It's called "Mein Gott, Frankenstein." You can find the poster for it, and it made me regret buying this poster and not buying "Mein Gott, Frankenstein."
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's the clear winner. Wow.
Just because we're talking about Frankenstein so much, this movie came out back in 2019 that I talked about a lot, I think. But it was on Netflix. It's called Frankenstein's Monster, Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. It's a half hour long. It is so funny.
Yeah, David Harbour from Stranger Things.
Yeah, David Harbour from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Kate Berlant.
Yeah.
It is everyone. If it's still on Netflix, if that's a thing, I don't know if they also start taking stuff down. But
yeah,
Alfred Molina,
yeah,
it's so funny. People really should check that out.
Yeah, highly recommend.
Cool. I'll have to watch that.
It's very silly.
Yes, it's very, very silly. It's like set up kind of like you'll see. It's like a part documentary, part play.
Don't look up anything before it.
Yeah,
just watch it. Go in cold.
It's a half hour.
Yeah, no, title's got me alone. Cool. Well, while we're wrapping up here, let's talk about what's coming up for the rest of the month.
Oh, wow.
So we usually have some sort of theme for October for the movies, and we didn't really for this one, and then we kind of built it around this movie, more or less. So all the movies this month are going to be classic monsters and villains. So we got a bunch of monsters in this one, but coming up next week, we've got Leatherface, because we're watching the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre with a brand new guest. So
I'm scared already.
Be sure to stick around for that.
That's wild. That'll be crazy.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think I've only seen this once, and I don't really remember it.
Have you ever seen it, CJ?
I'm excited to dive in.
I feel like I oddly may have for some reason, but
I'll say this. I really
why.
like it. I really like it. It's such a grimy movie, and it is a movie that borders on that torture porny thing of like, I don't know if I do like this, you know? It's one of the rare movies where I'm like, it's very squeamish during.
I remember writing the line.
Yeah. I think there's a
CJ
scene...
might be falling off on that, but we'll see.
Spoiler. I feel like there's a scene where they're driving in the van or the truck or whatever, and a guy like cuts his own arm or something like that, and that is what I specifically remember being like, nope, don't like that.
Okay, I remember that too. Yeah.
Don't like that.
Well,
find out.
It'll be a good discussion, so stick around next week and find out. Patrick, thank you for joining us as always. Anything coming up that you want to talk about at the end?
Yeah, we've been doing these things in LA. We've been doing live readings of the Star Wars movies at Dynasty Typewriter with crazy casts. We did Phantom Menace with Tony Hale and Haley Joel Osment and Lorraine Newman and Bobby Moynihan, like insane people. You can watch that at naboomovie.com. We just did Attack of the Clones, which was genuinely insane. That's up on widescreen 4K on YouTube currently at CaminoCaper.com, KaminoKaper. And November 16th, 2024, we will be doing Mustafar Takes Los Angeles. We're following the Muppet movie naming conventions for these movies. So we're doing Revenge of the Sith. That's November 16th. There's still some tickets available. We have not officially announced it, but it is almost sold out. And you can also live stream it from literally anywhere in the world. You go to mustafarla.com, mustafarla.com. Also, I do this show called The George Lucas Talk Show with Connor Ratliff and Griffin Newman. It's a very silly talk show. We're doing the Bell House in New York on, I think it's October 18th, I want to say. It's that Friday. We're also going to be at New York Comic Con on that Saturday, which I think is the 19th.
Nice.
And then November 9th, we're going to be in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey, doing a show at the Smod Castle, which is Kevin Smith's movie theater, with Kevin Smith. So that'll be very fun. We also have some other shows that are in the process of being scheduled. So check me out on Twitter at Patrick Cotnoir, on Instagram at Cotnoir, and we'll announce all that there. But come out, even if you've never seen it or don't give a shit about Star Wars, it's still a fun time.
Kevin Smith was a fantastic past guest. He was he fit right in. That's going to be awesome.
I'm very excited to do it in person.
That's awesome. Wow, so you're like not busy at all then.
And I didn't even name like 12 things that I'm doing.
I'm sure. I bet.
Those were the easiest things to pitch. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm very tired all the time.
Thank you as always.
Hey, aren't we all?
I bet. Yeah. But not if you drink Magic Mind. That can help you. So be sure to check that out. What else we got to plug, Steve?
You can follow us on all of the things at Overtalking Pod, Overtalking POD. You can call or text the show at USACat1591, or the real phone number is in the show notes. Email us at overtalkingpod@gmail.com, or go to our website, overtalkingpod.party.
Review the show on iTunes.
Real website.
Yes.
Tell people to do that.
Yeah. Well, someone else is here to remind me to remind you to do that. Oh no, it's finally the time of year where this is thematically correct for the Overtalking Overlords to arrive. It's the Overtalking Overlords. Oh no. There are ghastly otherworldly landlords that there's a whole backstory, but we haven't talked about it in years.
Talk about it now. Talk about it now.
Do you want to know?
Yeah, now's the time,
talk about
right?
it now.
Yeah, you want to hear
yes.
it. There are ghastly otherworldly landlords for when we recorded in the same place. They rented our space to us. We signed the lease in blood, and there's even more stuff. We've had them on the show.
Yeah, they've been guests.
What did we talk about, Steve?
One of them was on for episode 300 to discuss the movie 300.
Oh, wow.
That's, of course.
If people legitimately want a refresher of all that, I personally really, really loved back in episode 201. It was just a straight sort of interview show. It's just us and the Overlord, and we finally get to the bottom of things. It was a lot of fun.
There's some dark moments that happened with the one that we interviewed initially.
I think there's been some deaths. I'm not sure if I'm proud of where that went, but anyway, well, check them out. You can look up Subork, I think is what the name is. This is beyond. Anyway, they're here to remind me to remind you, if you'd like to show us, go on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and rate and review. Reviews are what help people find this podcast. Also, we spend money in advertising, so if you like the show, please tell a friend and spread the word. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you. You had no idea that the show got so weird, did you, Patrick?
I mean, when I signed up years ago to come on, no. No, I didn't.
That's right.
Yeah. There's some weird stuff. Usually it's just TV shows and movies. But
You're a regular now. You're part of it.
I know. I'm expecting the jacket. I want the Five Timers jacket.
Oh, yeah.
I'll send you my address.
Oh, wait. Did that not get sent?
It'll come for the sixth time. I won't come on again until I get it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. There we go. Well, thank you again. And as we always say at the end of every single episode. Love it.
You say that every time?
Every time. Go check. All 370 whatever episodes.
All of them.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ, edited by CJ. This week's special guest was Patrick Cotnoir. Music by Justin Peters. Logo by Nate Richards. Check out Nate's work on Instagram at Nate Richards Designs.
I like the voice. I want to be clear. I'm doing a bit.
Oh, I know you do.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
Too much.
Don't make eye contact when you do it.
I don't like it anymore. I don't like it anymore.
It's
not a bit. It's not a bit.